Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and today I have my next update for my year-long project pan. So this is the project where I have 10 items rolled in the rolling 10 pan style, and my goal is to use all of these products up to completion. So before I get too far into the video, I've had this makeup on since 6:30 this morning and it is now 6 o'clock at night. So don't look too close. The hair is thrown up. I'm wearing a sweater because I just got off work. I am sitting down to film this at the last minute before I need to edit and put it up. So maybe I'll say I'm looking cute today, but I'm like just got off a 10-hour shift cute. So we'll go with that. But I have one rollout this update and it's not really the product that I thought it was going to be. So hopefully maybe it'll be a surprise to you as well. But since we do have the one and Jane is coming in, what is this one piece of hair doing? I'm gonna have to tuck this up in a second, but with Jane now getting comfortable, we have the one product rolling out, so we have the one product rolling in. So let me go ahead, run my little intro, put this little piece of hair up, and then we will get into my update. All right, so we are going to go through progress, then empty, then roll in, and I do my pan that palette for the year. I am so rusty. I did not film or upload a video on the first. I had put a message in my community tab that since the fiscal year was rolling over on October 1st, we had to have everything done for work and like submitted and completed. And so I worked all last weekend to get everything done so that I could start fresh with the new fiscal year. So I am a little bit rusty, but I will grab my palette, which is my Pan That palette, because I do have an update on that one as well. But let's go into my update and my progress, as Jane is being so sassy over there. But the first product that we have is my e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. And in September, I did not do makeup as much. I took about 6 or 7 days off of work, and I think I only wore makeup like 2 of those days. So we do have a new line marking, but not a really big jump on there either. So, but I'm still feeling like I'll be able to finish this by the end of the year. I have been doing the tracking all year long, so this better be an empty. But for last update, we were at 116.10 grams. I used it 19 times. We're now at 14.59, and I did use 1.51. So that's about a gram less than what I used last month. And so definitely a smaller marking line, but I do still have faith that I'll be able to use this up by the end of the year. I do use this as a foundation mixer to add a little bit of glow to my otherwise matte foundations. So that one is looking good, but we will see if we can get that finished by the end of the year. Now we're rolling into one of my compact items, and so we have my blush. So this is the Ofra Chick Lit blush that I ended up frankening together. I have it in this Makeup Geek compact, and we can see that that pan is just growing, and I love it. I have this blush on. I put this blush on today at 6 o'clock in the morning. I did touch up with a different blush that I have on right now, but this was my blush that I had on this morning, and I absolutely love it. So even though I love this blush, my use on it in September is quite it's sad. But last update on this blush, we were at 37.25. Now we're at 37.15. I used it 3 times in the month of September, and I used 0.1 grams of product. So I still feel like now that I'm like in October, I don't know if I have the same confidence level in being able to use this up by the end of the year. I'd like to say that I can like almost get there by the end of the year, but if I want to get anywhere close to finishing this, I will have to step up my game a little bit. But I do love that blush. It is beautiful. I have other blushes in my collection that I feel like are going to do the similar thing that that one does. So I don't feel like I'm going to need to run out and buy something similar, but I will miss that one once it is gone. Now I have one of my pencil products, and let me find it in my little bin. And so that is my Urban Decay liner in Vice. And this one too is a little bit of a sad update, but of course, I'm so rusty, but I did take my pictures and you'll see my graphics kind of popping up on the screen with the comparisons from last month to this month. So of course, like always, you guys will get those visuals as well. But my goal with this one is also to use it up, and let me show you guys the little nail polish mark is where this one will be done. And that is where we're at. So we're super close. I mean, but I need to actually use it for it to be done. So with our weights, last month with this eyeliner, we were at 3.48. Now we're at 3.47. I used it one time and I didn't sharpen it. So that is 0.01 grams. So basically I used this one time probably to do a little bit of smudgy on the outside of a look, and that was it. I've had the arbitrary goal throughout the entire year to use this 10 times per month. Obviously, I did well last month, not this month. So I haven't had a whole lot of like purple palettes in my eyeshadow rotation. So we will see about getting some more use out of this one. But I feel like if I go hard on this for the end of the year, now that I'm in the last quarter, I'm starting to get nervous. So definitely I'm gonna try, and my marking is where I kind of hypothesize this is going to be done, but also the product in here, like the lead, is very loose, so there's going to be a time when I go to sharpen this and it's just going to fall out, and then it'll be done. So maybe that will happen by the end of the year, but I am still not diligently, because I only used it one time in September. Erin, be honest with yourself. But I am trying to use this up by the end of the year. Ooh, my highlighter palette is next, and so this is my Tarte highlighting palette, but of course, if you've been here for a while, I have frankened the highlighters in here, so nothing is original to this palette anymore, but we still have pan on all of these. If you can see, there we go, maybe that you can see all those little pans. I am mainly trying to focus on this second shade here and use up as much of that as I can. At the beginning of the year, this one had a humongous pan on it, and I repressed it, so it's very thin in there, but that's my main focus. I do try to pop up on the screen how many times I've used each shade since repressing, and then also how many times I use them during the month, so those will be popping up somewhere, and it's mainly because last year I tracked just the uses that I reached into the palette as a whole, and I have a dog hair. Hold up. Pause. Pause. Dog hair. No pun intended. But where was I? Oh, last year with my tracking, I would put one tally mark every time I reached into this palette, regardless of what shade I reached for. Well, this year I am tracking by the shade, so I will put that up there somewhere. But I'm very happy to hit pan in every single one of these shades, and to be expanding the pan on this second one again. But with our weights on this one, we were at 118.64 last month. Now we're at 118.34, so again, not a huge jump. Again, I'll put my things up there. I'm trying to see how many times did I actually do I think I only did my makeup 20 times in September, which is about 3 or 4 times less than I usually do. But now, like I said, we're at 118.34, so that's a difference of 0.3 grams of product. But really, we're just seeing those pans expand month by month, which is what I want to see. I want to see that they are well loved. This is another sad product, and like I feel bad for having a quote unquote like not exciting update, so but I need to get over that for myself. But this is one of these Sephora glosses. This is in the shade Busy, which is this beautiful cool toned pink, but we have a little jump right there in our differences. So again, if I actually use the product, I can get it done, but we have this little bit down here, which if I focus on it, I'll be able to do it. But this one here, let's see, I kind of have the goal to try to use it 10 times per month. I did use it 5 times in September, and that does not include reapplications. So if I put it on my look in the morning and then I reapply it during the day when I'm working, then I don't count the reapplication. So I reached for this for 5 looks during September. But last month we were at 38.34. Now we're at 38.2, 5 uses for 0.17 grams. So if I actually buckle down, button down, buckle down, either one, we're fastening things. If I actually pay attention and use this product, I could get it done in 2 months, but we will see what comes out of that. So next product is one of my bronzers. So this is also in a Makeup Geek compact, but this is the Juvia's Place bronzer that comes in the light duo, and this is the more warm toned one. I did use up the cool toned one earlier this year, and I was hoping for a pan, but this product is so different than the cool tone one. I think that this is harder pressed. So this one is going very slow compared to the cool toned bronzer. I also don't know if this one, because it's more warm toned, I don't know if it's showing up more on my skin compared to the cool toned one. So maybe I piled on more cool toned bronzer compared to the warm toned, but I'm still liking it. There's a little bit of a dip in there, but God, this will be a photo finish. If I do finish this by the end of the year, I will be surprised. This might be rolling into the first couple weeks of January with me. But for the bronzer, we were at 46.91 last month. Now we're at 46.22. I used this 20 times for 0.69 grams. So that is a huge difference between, I think the cool tone bronzer, I was using over a gram of product in a normal month. So, but I'm still liking this, still okay with panning it. I would love to see a pan get hit sometime in October, but I really just don't see that happening at all. But let's see, one that I actually do have some really good progress on is my foundation. So this is the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and I do have this in 1C0 shell, which is light for me. So I actually do mix some things in here to get it a little bit darker to match my skin tone. But I got it for $10 at TJ Maxx, so I'm not going to be upset about it being a little bit light. But with this one, I've been marking it on the back, and I did just move it to look at the shade, so my little like line is off for the product, but that is where we're down to. So of course we started at the top, first month, second month there. So nice big jump. I do use 2 pumps of this to mix with my other things to get a good shade, but I think that I use about half of that per application, and then the other half goes into my little container for the next day. But I'm still really enjoying this. Like, this is the foundation that I put on this morning 11 hours ago, 12 hours ago, 12 hours ago. And I mean, I did touch up a little bit because it broke down because I did leave the house. So I was in the car, sweating, sunlight. It's still hot here in Florida. So it broke down a little bit, but with a little bit of touch up, it actually looks really good. So I think that this one is worth the hype. So if you've been wanting to try it and you have more oily skin, again, if you have, I know people with dry skin also like it, but they use it in very thin layers, but love this one. So with this here, we were at 112.66 last month. We're now at 106.24. I used this 17 times for 6.42 grams of use. So getting really good use on this. Typically on foundations, I'll use about, let me look at my last one. I would use 4 grams, 5 grams, 5 grams. So I use about 5 to 6 grams of product per month on my foundation. So that is pretty much on par. So this one's again going to carry over into next year, because even if we look at, let's say we have October, November, I don't know. Could I use this up by the end of the year? I might be scraping the bottom of this bottle by the end of the year. If we're looking at all of October, all of November, all of December, we might have a foundation done by the end of the year. that'll be very exciting. But loving this one. No issue with me using it. I am very, very impressed with that. My next one, I have my next ColourPop lip liner. I used up Oh Snap back in August, so I started using this one. I have my little line here where I know it'll be empty, and that is just from using up a bunch of these. But this is, you know, it's new. I've only used it for about a month and a half, so we still have quite a bit of product to go. And this one, I pretty much wear it every single day that I do my makeup, so I don't count my uses. So let's just say 20 times this month. And then like I reapplicated it. I reapplied it before I was filming, so that would be like an extra tally mark, but you guys know. But for the weights on this, we were at 7.4 last month. We're now at 7.12, so that's a difference of 0.28 grams, which I think is kind of common. What was I using up? I was using up about 0.4 of a gram before on Oh Snap, so maybe a little bit under, but again, I didn't do my makeup as many times in September. So once I get a full month of makeup use in October, hopefully we'll be seeing this start to go down a little bit more. My other lip product that I have in here is my Hourglass Confession lipstick in If Only, and that's sad. The Hourglass is starting to rub off on there, which this was knocking around my purse, so like I don't expect it to look perfect all the time, but I am slowly working away at this one. I think I told you guys this is the lipstick that will never end, because even though you only get a tiny bit of product, you do not need a lot of this to have good pigmentation and good staying power. So with this one, I'm also not counting how many times I'm using it, because like again, it sits up on my little desk over here, so I'll throw it on in the morning and I might reapply, but otherwise I'm not keeping track of it. I did take it out of my purse just because I felt like it was a little bit too intense to put on. I kind of like it a little bit more of a blotted down look with this color. So for this one, we were at 21.69 last month. Now we're at 21.65, so 0.04. So I only went down 0.04, even though I was able to make a new mark. And I used it probably about 10 times in September. And so this is like the never-ending lipstick. So these are kind of like small but mighty. So don't get thrown off by the small amount of product. They do go a long way. So I will continue to work on this lipstick. So we are now down to my empty and my roll-in. So I don't know if I was expecting to be done with this one, and I don't know if I just like went hard on it and just kind of like really focused, but my empty is the Lawless Forget the Filler. And I know I had been talking with you guys like over and over about like, okay, you don't get a whole lot of uses on this product. And so even in 1 month of use, I went from that line right there down to the bottom. Like tell me how that works. But at the bottom of this bottle is the thickest part of the doe foot. So I was actually thinking about this because I knew I was going to film this video. So as I was driving home, I was thinking about this. And when they put product in these containers, they have to equate for the displacement volume of the doe foot. So when the doe foot is in here, of course, the least amount of volume is the stick, and the biggest part of the volume is the actual doe foot, because it is this big old fat doe foot on there. So when you get down to the bottom of this, the doe foot is taking up more volume. So I feel like there's less product at the bottom because the volume displacement. I wanted to be a science teacher in my past life before I realized that I couldn't pass calculus. So like that kind of stuff, like looking into the actual like engineering behind how much product you can put into containers, like that it geeks my little heart out. So I was able to use this up pretty quickly. But last month we were at 31.03. empty, and I did take the stopper out and I scraped everything I could out of here. So 29.25 is as clean as I could get it. I used it 14 times for 1.78 grams of use. So again, 14 times to empty it from about halfway down. 14 uses. That was it. Now, there probably was some reapplications in there throughout the day, but as far as tracked uses, so I rolled it in when we were at this top mark up here. And so tracked uses, so again, days that I would put this on in my look, but not reapplications, 36 uses. 36 uses. I have no words. You guys know my feelings about this. I feel like this is, it's an interesting product, and I almost bought another one because, of course, I'm like sucked into the marketing of it, but this is not worth what they're charging for it. I would rather, and what I have on my list today is one of my new things, which you'll see this coming up in my buys and buys, but I posted this on my Instagram that I went to Sephora and I got this for my birthday. But the Summer Fridays in Cherry, their lip butter balm, like this is more expensive than this, but this will last you a whole lot more. And I feel like if you actually like kind of goop this on a little bit, it gives you the same effect as the Lawless. So for me, I'm not going to go back to the Lawless. I'm going to stick to the lip butter balms, and I am happy with those. So that is my empty, and that's another lip empty for the year. So even though I went crazy with buying lip products, I am using them up. So now we're going to do my roll-in, and this is in my 24 and 2024, which on the 10th, I'm going to be doing an update on my 24 and 2024. So some of these things you'll see again in that video. But I am rolling back in my Hard Candy Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer Makeup Grip. So I had been trying to pan this throughout the year, but it was not playing nicely with my Juvia's Place foundation. And I just sneezed. And yes, I will cut that out because I sneeze like a dad. So you know how like they joke that when a dad sneezes, it like shakes the house. I sneeze like a father. So definitely I cut that out. But this did not play well with my Juvia's Place foundation. It made it kind of like pill up and get patchy, but this does work with the Estee Lauder foundation. So to get this used up, because this is now my oldest primer in my collection, and because I want to just focus on my e.l.f. primers, I want to get this used up. So I did put a mark. I got all the air out of it and then folded it over. And so this is where we are starting right there, but it is very thin. So we don't have a lot of product to go in this, but I will say just for my shits and giggles, I did have a weight of 29.86 on this at the beginning of September when I weighed it, and now it's 27.23. So I used it 6 times in September, and that's 2.64 grams. So just for my mindset of knowing how many grams I'm going through with a certain amount of uses, I did start tracking it at the beginning of September. So this is rolling in at the 27.23 grams, and so we will see if I can get this done in the next couple months. So that is my roll-in. That is my update. I really don't see any sort of empties happening next month. Even if I went and like just focused on this, I think if I use this as my only lip product for all of October, I could get this lip gloss done, but I don't see that happening. If I'm being completely real with myself, I don't see that happening. But still, I'm very, very happy with that. And now I'm just curious. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I have a total of 12 products that I've been able to use up in this project so far. And we will see whenever I do my update on the 10th, how many of my 24 and 2024 products I've been able to use up this year also. But let me grab my palette for my Pan That palette, and I'll show that to you guys because, again, we have a new pan. So let me grab that and we will take a look at the palette. So my pan that palette for the year is the It's My Pleasure from ColourPop, and I do have it split up into here, so I kind of focus on this quad and then dip into the other palette. But looking at this has not changed. So I had a pan in fan fiction and I had a pan in chick lit, so both reading themed shadows there, but I had pan in both of those. And then last month too, I had a pan in Pretty Cruel, which is this one right here. And I'm covering that other one because, ta-da, we have a pan in Kittenfish. And so that is that light pinky lavender right there. And you can really see the dip I have going on in this one, which this one here is Sleeper. And so I do have quite a large dip on that shade. I would suspect if I used Sleeper like 4 more times in October, I could probably get a pan on that one. Getting a pan on these shimmers is hard because I use my finger. So I'm kind of rubbing on the whole pan. I'm not necessarily like tunneling in with a brush. And so whenever I do use my brushes, anytime you look at any of the pans in my collection, my pan kind of goes at an angle because that's how I put my brush into the shadows. I don't put my brush in like straight up and down. I put my brush in at an angle. So I always have like a clean side of my brush and then a powder side of my brush. I don't know if it really makes any sense. Y'all that are out there that are makeup artists will maybe have to tell me if I'm doing something right or wrong. But hey, it works for me. So is it right or wrong? We'll just leave it at that. But very happy to have another pan on Kittenfish there. And now I have a total of 4 pans in this palette. And I swear Sleeper is right there. So I know hitting pan on ColourPop mattes is more difficult than anything else. So if I have pan on all 4 mattes in this palette, I will consider that a job well done, because the shade Bare Minimum, which is here, and then the shade up here, which is called Do or Dough, like a donut, so dough, do or dough. This one, they're not really my favorites, and it's just, they don't really have as much impact. Like, they look nice on the fingers, but they don't come across on the eyes. So these ones, I'm not really sure what I am going to do with. And now, you know, it's going on the pants. It is going on the pants. But that is, so what did I say? I have 4 out of 9 shades, and I have 1 more matte to hit pan on. So I'm feeling really, really good about that. So I kind of feel if I finish this foundation by the end of the year, that will feel so, so good. But I'm 98% sure that Vice will be gone by the end of the year. Of course, the Sephora gloss will be gone. This will be very close. I mean, I feel like this will end up being used up by the end of the year. The blush, I don't know. The primer, absolutely. I already know it takes me 7 to 8 months to use up the eyeliner, so this will be rolling over into next year. If I don't hit pan on that bronzer this month, I don't feel like I'm going to end up finishing that by the end of the year, but I'm still very happy with this project. I'm very happy with my progress. So that is making me very, very hopeful about getting more of these products used up in my collection. And really, when did I buy the Estee Lauder? I bought this in April. So if I bought this in April of this year and I'm able to use it up within the same year, that will make me feel so, so good, because that means I'm using my products before they go bad. But let me give a quick little update on the Pup Pups, and Malcolm is still here. It has surprised the crap out of me how amazing and resilient he has been. When he was first diagnosed at the end of August, I basically told the vet, like, if I can have 2 weeks with him to where I can, you know, make sure he has some best days ever, and I can like kind of, I start grieving. Like if I can have 2 weeks with him, I would be so happy. And the fact that he is now like 5 or 6 weeks past diagnosis and still doing relatively good, I am so surprised. And there's Mr. Washburn. He says, Mama's talking about the dog, so she has to talk about me. Yeah? Yeah. Oh, baby face. Baby face. I was going to say, no, Anara's down there. So, but Malcolm still goes on his weekly trips to get Chick-fil-A and to get pup cups. He loves getting in the truck, and I swear dogs can tell time because he knows when it's the weekend, because he gets even more excited and like waits by the door for us. Like, okay, Dad can load me up into the truck. Let's go. So he is just being such a trooper. We're still doing a lot of the pain control for him. But he is slowing down. He's losing a lot of his muscle mass on his back end. Cancer just eats away at somebody's body. That's actually him barking. Because why are you so needy, sir? Mr. Wash is being needy. Say, do you guys see Wash's face in the background? Do you want to come say hi? You don't really get up in my lap anymore. But that's his face back there. That's the Washburn face. What are you doing? Can you come say hi? That's the Washburn face. He is so freaking big. How is he a year old? He is so big. But there's the puppy update. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness, sirs. Come here. So if anybody's like, oh, yeah, I want a German Shepherd. I'm like, do you really? But do you really? Because this is, as he knocks over everything, this is what you get. This is what you get. You get a dog that doesn't realize how big he is and that he needs attention all the time. Okay. Thank you, sir. Let me wrap this up and then I'll take you guys outside. Okay, come on. Get down. Oh, good boy. Now that I have all the dog hair stuck in my lip gloss. But doggy update. I know you guys want to see them, and that is the best I can do right now without taking my camera out with me everywhere. But I hope that you guys enjoyed that little doggy intermission. But I am going to go take them outside because I just promised, and I keep saying the OS word, so they know that I better mean it. But I'm going to encourage you guys to do all the things. Make sure to hit a thumbs up on this video. Let me know that you guys are enjoying my content. Again, thank you for helping me hit 2,000 subscribers. But if you're new, if you're lurking, consider hitting that button down there. It's free for you, but it does help me out tremendously to get my content out to other people that might like my little corner of the internet. Make sure to drop me a comment down below. How are you doing on your project pan? Are you guys doing low buys? Are you doing controlled buys? Did you use anything up? Let me know how you're doing. Give me updates on your pets. How are your fur children doing? Let me know how you guys are doing. I love our conversations in the comment section, and I actually missed like chatting with you guys for the video that I did not put up on the first. So I missed you guys so much. But I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in and spending a little bit of time with me as Wash is under my table and knocking my equipment. Ooh, Jesus, take the wheel. But I do appreciate each and every one of you. I am going to wish you guys all a beautiful day, and I will catch you in my next one.